and we listen to the beautiful chant, the Buddhist chant. And the Buddhist chant is Allah by Tom Kenyon. So just relax and enjoy this time of being still. So we light this light in the name of one loving, supreme Father, Mother, God, who calls each and every child of God to fellowship, to stillness, to peace, to love. Let us relax now and embrace all that we are as a child of God, a child of love, a child of peace. And we light this light in the name of our beloved Father, Mother, God Supreme, who creates life, in the name of the risen cosmic Christ, who loves life, in the name of the Spirit, who is the fire of life, and in the name of Gaia, our beloved Earth Mother, who nurtures the divine in all life. And in the name of all faith traditions and none, who are the children of God, our brothers and our sisters. And in the name of spiritual diversity, I, Brother Sean, on behalf of all my brothers and sisters who are members of the Teo community of Interfaith Franciscans, who have chosen to surrender their heart to their God as an ambassador of peace. We welcome you and we invite you to be still and just relax. And in your stillness, just allow yourself be still and embrace all that you are, all that God wants you to be. Be comfortable in your stillness. Let there be no fear, no negativity, only that inner sense of peace. And that peace only comes from one thing: surrender. Not a nice word in the modern day marketplace. To surrender means to give up, to run away and be labeled a coward. That's ego talking. But on the spiritual journey, the word surrender is an invitation to embrace the divine aspect of God. And the moment you surrender your heart to God, all you're doing is giving God permission to speak with you. You're using your gift of free will and allowing the very one being of love who formed you. How strange is that? But that is a God of love. A God that desperately wishes to connect with all their children, but respects their free will and respects their decision not to want dialogue with God. But you do. That's why you and I are here, sat in front of our webcam and our laptop or PC. We are here out of love, not duty. We are here to allow the blessing of love touch each heart. And we are each God's representatives on earth. We are each a vortex of light, allowing the divine connect with the children of God. We are the tree of life. We are spiritual beings on a journey. We live two lives, that of the human body, grounded and rooted in earth, on earth, and our spiritual body that will live forever. And how transient we are today, where so many get caught up with consumerism, pluralism, dogma, fear. They won't put a foot outside their front door unless they've had the news broadcast to them on their iPhone, their BlackBerry, or their Blueberry. Their life is governed by what other people convey to them, and more often than not, they are messages that feed fear. For example, how many times have you watched a weather forecast on your local TV station or radio station, and they're convinced by all their satellite information that we are going to have heavy storms, severe gales. So the night before, you prepare yourself so that when you go out to work in the morning, you wear weatherproofs, waterproofs. You ensure that your sandwiches and your butty box is nicely protected against the elements. You have your brolly handy. And suddenly, when you open the door, you don't see rain, you see sunshine. And I too have been one of those that's been caught out. They get their information cross-wired. So let us now come to this place and let us just be what we already know we are within our being, a child of love. But first I want to read to you a very powerful prayer, a prayer that touches lives, a prayer that changes lives, a prayer that brings the most hardened of hearts to its knees, and a prayer that allows the soul reconnect with the divine essence of all that is, that could ever be. And it is the prayer of entering your sacred space, your castle, your soul, the gateway to God. And you can say it after me, or you can quietly listen. I leave the choice entirely up to you. I cross the bridge into the bliss of my castle. I close the drawbridge and forbid all outside influences from entry into this holy place, a place that is my soul. Here in my castle, I am alone with God, and under God's light and companionship, I discover the depth and the beauty of my soul. I embrace the power of prayer. I open myself to divine guidance. I surrender myself to become as a channel for grace, for healing and service as God directs my life, not as I direct God's life, but in service to God, whom I trust will direct my life. Let us for a moment reflect on these beautiful words. What are these words saying to you? What are they saying? Well, they're inviting you to retreat from the noise, the busyness, the continuous mobile phone ringing or your landline ringing. It's inviting you to put aside all electrical gadgets. It's inviting you to close your front door, to put a sign on it, do not disturb. It's inviting you to come into your space where you feel safe and warm and comfortable. It's inviting you to relax in your own space. It's inviting you to be that beautiful child of God that you already are. But it's inviting you to be disciplined, to say no when you mean no. It's inviting you to take your power back as a beloved of God. It's inviting you to take responsibility for your life and not be led by those that we would label fair weather friends who think they have your best interests at heart. It invites you to nourish, to nurture, to sustain and develop your interior soul, your spiritual journey, your walk as a pilgrim with a loving God. It's inviting you to look at your life and ask yourself several poignant questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What is my life purpose? What does my God wish for me? It's inviting you to look at your 3 rooms, your mind, your body, and spirit rooms. It's challenging you to look at the amount of time that you give to each room. It's asking you to reflect on, is there balance in your life? A balance that facilitates a harmonious relationship with God that ultimately creates that all-important divine connection. But it invites you to retreat from drama, from illness, from negativity, from being overtly focused on one's ailments, on one's dramas, touches you to name issues in your life, be they personal, be they family, or be they issues to do with friends or colleagues, maybe enemies. To name those issues because they're yours, to bless them, and more importantly, to release them immediately to God, and then to demonstrate mindfulness to God through gratitude, a thankful heart that God will set you free from all that weighs you down. And though every child of God is invited to this place, not everybody stays. Some get cold feet. They allow their mind to wander, to drift onto things that they want God to do for them that may not be right for them. They may become overindulgent in their fantasies, inflating their ego, or allowing others detract them from their truth. I know of personal scenarios that have caused my heart great upset when I see a brother or sister whom God has truly blessed and enriched their ministry with so many beautiful gifts, to squander them and throw them back at God. How can you do such a thing? Human nature, it's fickle. We are in the world, but we are not of it. But at times, when we become really vulnerable, our Achilles heel, that weak spot, often gets the better of us, unless we are a people of prayer, of discipline and fasting. The mind is a beautiful gift from God, but if the mind is left unchecked and allowed to wallow, it can lead us many, many miles away from our chosen destiny. As I discovered several weeks ago, when I was made aware that someone we know in our community who should be on life medication listened more to the recommendations of fair weather friends who said, "But you look so well. Do you really need to take this stuff? It's poison." Maybe in the wrong hands for the wrong condition. But if one is living with a life-threatening illness, then one doesn't have a choice. Well, you do, but if you know that it has been prescribed legitimately and legally to enhance wellness, and you chose not to, then you must obviously endure the consequences, which are rather unpleasant side effects, even suicidal ideation. I truly believe that to walk as a pilgrim in faith today, especially from your monastery without walls, where you don't have the same structure and support as a conventional monastery, you need to be someone exceptionally disciplined. And when you surrender yourself to God, you do become a channel for grace, for healing. because you put yourself in divine service voluntarily for God to use you as a means to an end. So let us for a moment, in our stillness, just visualize a good shepherd, a farmer who loves his sheep. He has a small holding, not many sheep, maybe a dozen, but he knows one of the ewes is about to give birth, and he knows that she has a heart problem. So he's extra vigilant when she goes into labor, so as to take the strain off her heart and help her. So he decides to sleep in the barn next to the ewe. That is the Good Shepherd we find in the Christ. He asks us to feed his sheep and to feed his lambs. What does he mean? That we go out into the farmer's field and feed all the stray lambs and sheep? I don't think so. He's inviting us to reach out in love and to offer spiritual food to the family of God. Be they Christian or Jew, Hindu or Sikh, Buddhist or Muslim, pagan or Wiccan, New Age, Old Age, Middle Age, does it matter what age? He's asking us to bring love to the marginalized and not look to see what their employment status is, or their address or postcode or zip code. He's inviting us to see the beating heart of God in every child of God. So let us look at the Good Shepherd and let us imagine him holding you, a little spring lamb, full of energy and life, wanting to be out of the master's arms and gambling across the field with your newfound brothers and sisters. But the Good Shepherd instills within you a desire to be careful. So as you relax now, I want you to just focus on the warmth you feel from the gentle embrace of this Good Shepherd. Because you know that this Good Shepherd, some 2,000 years ago, laid down his life for you. He laid down his life for your freedom. He didn't ask your permission. He did it voluntarily, without an agenda, so that you could be free. Free to explore your life, to enjoy your life, to find happiness. And the moment you surrender your will, your heart, and all that you are, all that you have, to the Beloved as a gift, you'll be amazed. The burden of worry is taken from you and replaced with an interior joy, an internal happiness that wells up into inner peace and contentment. A change of personality. You develop a Christ consciousness. coming from the heart to embrace love. And God is love. And where there is love, there is God. So the entry prayer to your sacred space should be said daily, because it's a gentle reminder of who we are, a child of God, and that we have a duty of care to our mind, our body, and our spirit soul. And that we know when to retreat from the world and its shams and its fears, and come back to the Good Shepherd who cares for his flock 24/7. Just relax now. Relax in the presence of your God, who is here with you, who is calling you to come and receive the healing touch of your God. Just relax. And with every in-breath that you take, you are breathing in the very breath of your God. And now relax and sense the peace, the love, and the joy of just being in the presence of God. Now let your God touch you. Be still, my soul. Be still, my soul. Be still, my soul. Be still, my soul. And now just be. Be that child of God that you agreed to be. And let your light shine. A light so divine that will unnerve many and challenge even friends and family. And they may reject you as they rejected the Master. And you may have to pay the price for your love. But be strong and remember that you are in the very heart of the mystical heart of God. And there is nothing anyone can do to lead you off your path unless you give your power away. So we call on the great archangels, the great ascended masters, and the great spiritual teachers, with Magdalena and Gaia, with Kuan Yin and Isis and Mother Mary, to come now and to shepherd us, to protect us. Be aware of loving arms around you. They are the arms of your beloved.